I don't mind throwing the shirt off at the Planet Fitness. Sometimes it's a little too out of place. And then there was actually dudes in the locker room, so that's not something you want to be doing. No pump check for you, but no pump check for me also. So a little bit of a surprise, which frankly, I mean, I said this a little while ago, not always a bad thing, because the longer you go between, looking at your states of progress, bulking up or dieting down, if you don't check your pump for like 3 weeks, that could be a pretty damn substantial change. I mean, 3 weeks of a real bulk, I mean, you could be upwards of like 5 pounds heavier-ish if you're, really eating enough food to steadily gain weight. That's where sometimes it pays to kind of look away. I said this a couple times. My first actual bulk ever, I didn't do any pump checks for like 4 months because I wanted to gain a bunch of weight and then see like a big difference. The first day I did a sleeveless arm day. Yeah, it felt freaking insane. But same thing with dieting down. Honestly, I think that's even more kind of impressive to yourself, to actually give yourself a mirror check-in on a week-by-week basis. Because, I mean, if you're in a good deficit and you're not cheating and you're actually eating enough food, or you're not eating too much food and you're actually losing even just 1 pound of body fat a week by week, that's a pretty substantial freaking change. And the cool part about the dieting down and getting leaner is it's kind of an exponential change. Let's say hypothetically I've got 20 pounds of body fat I want to get off my frame. If you lose 1 pound, you are now, percentage-wise, what? You're 5% leaner, right? So if you got 20 pounds of spare body fat, you lose 5% leaner. Not a massive change. You might not really notice that too much. But let's say you get down to 10 pounds of extra body fat, and then you lose 1 more pound. Now you're 10% leaner just from losing that same 1 pound of body fat. Let's say you get 5 pounds of spare body fat and you lose 1 pound. Now you're 20% leaner, So it's the leaner you get, every pound of body fat you lose, you get even leaner and kind of freakier looking. So that's where the dieting is actually a little tricky, because it's the most rewarding right at the end when you really get to see the results. That's just kind of the nature of it. If you're not totally like freaking out and weighing yourself on the scale 3 hours a freaking day, then if you really hop on the scale every couple of days to be a bit more kind of balanced with it, and you're actually on track, you're going to see a steady decline. But that's assuming your macros and your calorie intake is what it should be, right? Low enough to lose body fat, not so low that you're totally starving yourself, which should be just around a pound-ish of weight lost a week. That's a reasonably manageable amount. But then it might take a little longer. So then there's the argument of like, all right, do I diet extra hard so I don't have to diet as long? Or do I go slow and slow, but then it's going to take... There's a lot of angles to look at it there. And I know it seems like a chore. I'm not trying to say that it's just like the easiest thing in the freaking world. But once you start tracking that stuff, things will start to make sense. Oh man, I'm feeling a little sluggish today. Oh, I'm a little extra tired. What did I eat yesterday? Oh, crap. I ate like 1,000 less calories yesterday than I did today. Man, no wonder. I mean, when was last time you got really into some kind of like project, or you were like seriously busy, or just, any kind of thing was going on in your day, and you basically just went like almost all day without eating, right? Because you were so busy with something else that it's, you just weren't even thinking about it. If you had a workout that night and you've barely eaten anything that day, what are the odds that that workout is going to be sweet? Kind of low. So it's a little bit of the treating your body like a machine kind of logic. I think looking at it like that is a little too wild. I don't eat for taste, I eat for fuel. Let's be real, man. I mean, I'm trying to eat for taste in a sense. Like, I'm eating for fuel first, but I want it to taste good enough that it's not a chore to put down. What I'm getting at is, like, you still are this freaking engine in a way, burning through calories, constantly expelling heat. And when you add muscular training, weight-based bodybuilding lifts, powerlifting lifts, whatever you want to do, then your calorie intake and your fuel and the amount of nutrients you're getting into your frame, it should be reflective of that training that you're doing. Because odds are You want to recover from your training, be fresh for the next day to do it again, and to do it again to a higher degree of intensity, at least over time. The only way you're going to do that is to freaking eat, man. You know, I could train as hard as I've been training for the next 10 years, and if I only ate 2,000 calories in perpetuity, I never ate more than that, I would shrink down to like, I don't know what. I'm sure I could do the math, but like I would gradually work my way down to, I mean, probably under 200 pounds. Now I'd be pretty dang lean, but I wouldn't grow any new muscle because that's just not enough food to facilitate muscle growth. You know, what would happen if you only gave a damn whale the amount of food that you give yourself? The thing's freaking starved to death. It's so big, it just needs more calories. So treat yourself the same way. If you're moving around and you're really hitting it, odds are just eating like a regular dude when you might grab like some chips or Cheetos or like have some mac and cheese or something after you get home or just whatever. Typically, just instinct eating isn't really conducive with muscle gain. And for some, it's a bit of a chore, like making sure you get your protein intake, actually like eating your gram per pound of however much you weigh. Like for some guys, that could be a bit of a chore. But with anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets to do, the less of a chore it gets to do, and the more naturally it's going to come to you. So if the dieting and the calorie tracking feels hard now, and you still push through it, you know, just know it's going to get easier later.